ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Homes crumble in the path of raging wildfires fueled by dry lightning and extreme heat.
These fires, again, are stretching our resources, stressing our personnel.
The critical part of CAL FIRE's response missing due to the pandemic. The Golden State Killer speaks directly to his victims before he's hauled away to prison forever. And how long Lori Loughlin will spend behind bars for her role in the college admissions scam. But we begin with a devastating crash in the North County. A father and son wait for hours for help at the bottom of a cliff. The child's mother killed in the fall. And they were found about 300 feet down a steep embankment in the Wilderness Gardens Preserve. That's south of State Route 76 near Bodie Road. ABC 10 News reporter Leah Pizzetti is joining us now live with how technology may have saved lives. Leah?
Kimberly, this Oceanside family of three was driving on State Route 76 when they drove off the edge. They were heading from Palomar Mountain to Oceanside. The father was driving, and they ended up rolling about 300 feet down that cliff. All three of them were ejected. The dad was knocked unconscious and woke up this morning. He was able to call for help around 6 a.m., and authorities used his cell phone location to help find them. He and his 11-year-old son have major injuries, but are expected to be okay. Once again, that mother did die at the scene. We're not sure just how long they were down there, but the father says he remembers leaving at 11 p.m. last night, so they could have been down there close to 8 hours. This steep cliff is what made it hard to find them.
And where it went over the side, you lose visual of it right off the roadway. So unfortunately, they were in a spot where, at night or even during the day, if no one is driving around, they don't see you going over the side.
And they did have a dog in the car. At last check, Animal Control is looking to find that dog. It does appear all of them were wearing seatbelts, and CHP does have a message for everybody about the importance of keeping your cell phone on you. Because that dad had his phone near him, that's how he was able to call for help, and then they ultimately were able to find their location because of that cell phone. So there's the message from CHP. And we will continue to follow this story and have much more coming up on ABC 10 News at 5. Reporting live, Leah Pizzetti, ABC 10 News.
Yes, cell phones and seatbelts save lives. Thank you, Leah. 560 wildfires are burning in California, and today we have incredible new video of homes crumbling in the path of the CZU lightning complex fires. More than 750,000 acres have gone up in flames across the state. At least 5 people have been killed, and the massive firefight is clear from the sky. Right now, the Bay Area has the worst air quality in the world. And more than 12,000 firefighters are on the front lines. That is still not enough. The state is stretched thin for resources as the pandemic continues. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer De La Cruz explains a critical missing piece.
California on fire. These images show some of the worst conditions the state has ever seen, with nearly 12,000 lightning strikes in just 72 hours. 560 infernos cascading from the north to south with no end in sight.
These fires, again, are stretching our resources, stressing our personnel.
And one resource we normally have will not be on the front lines in full force. This year, there's a shortage in volunteer inmate firefighters that play a critical role for CAL FIRE. In July, many prisoners were granted early release to ease overcrowding during the pandemic. The move dropping inmate firefighter numbers from nearly 2,000 to less than 1,700, a decrease of about 15%. Even after the state added more than 800 seasonal firefighters and $72 million in emergency aid this year, we are still falling short, now forced to pull resources from 10 other states.
Trying to reach out as far as the East Coast to see if we can get resources here into the state of California, address the stress that we placed on the 12,000 plus firefighters that are on the lines as we speak.
Additional engines and crews now coming from places like Arizona, Oregon, Nevada, and Texas. Devastation from fire and the deadly coronavirus testing the state of California like never before. Jennifer Dela Cruz, ABC 10 News.
And 4 inmate firefighters from San Diego were dispatched yesterday to assist up north. They're headed to the Carmel fire and the River fire, all in Monterey County. You can follow the firefight and track our heat in the area at 10news.com. Today, a private memorial honored 8 Camp Pendleton Marines and 1 sailor killed during a training exercise. The 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit held the service at Camp Pendleton. The service members were killed when their amphibious assault vessel sank off the coast of San Clemente Island. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. And now to the sentencing that so many families have fought for. Here are the final words from the Golden State Killer before he was taken away to prison for the rest of his days.
I've listened to all your statements, each one of them. And I'm truly sorry to everyone I've hurt.
Today, the serial killer and rapist Joseph James DeAngelo Jr. was sentenced to life in prison without parole. And this week, dozens of survivors and families of victims spoke directly to the 74-year-old in court. The former police officer admitted to killing 13 people and raping dozens of women in a series of attacks all over the state of California back in the 70s and 80s. He wasn't arrested until 2018. When DNA testing linked him to the crimes. And a man who fell in a University Heights canyon was airlifted up hundreds of feet with an injured ankle. Firefighters say they don't know how long he was down there and then called for help. Someone heard him yelling around 11 o'clock this morning. Firefighters hiked down hundreds of feet to find him. They were down the hill from New York Street and Golden Gate Drive. He was hoisted up by the helicopter and taken to the hospital. Actress Lori Loughlin will spend 2 months in prison for her role in the college admissions scandal. Her husband, Massimo Giannoli, was sentenced to 5 months in prison. And the couple pleaded guilty to conspiracy charges back in May for paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to get their daughters into USC. Both must surrender to serve their time on November 19th.
The newsfeed starts with some hope that COVID-19 deaths will start dropping in parts of the country next week. The CDC says the closing of bars, social distancing, and mask mandates are leading to a decrease. Well, new concerns about silent spreaders. Massachusetts general researchers say that there is more evidence showing that children are not immune to the virus, and on top of that, a new study says that kids that don't show symptoms could spread COVID faster than sick adults because of the amount of the virus that they carry. Pharmacists are now allowed to give vaccines to children. These new rules go into effect for children over the age of 3 in all 50 states. Government leaders are hoping this will lead to more kids being vaccinated. Many Americans are dealing with difficulties when it comes to finances. Some teachers are getting creative to stay afloat. Why home rentals are playing a big part in that.
Well, a partnership to support North County businesses is needed more than ever. How Innovate 78 shifted its focus to help them survive.